Welcome to the Inside Joke. I'm John DeKoven, and tonight we are pleased to have a special edition. I'm happy to introduce my brother, James DeKoven. How are you, James?
Great, yeah, good to be here.
Always good to see you. It's still hard calling him James. We know him as Jim. Tonight's special edition is going to deal with, I'm the owner of Bunjo's Comedy Club, and a lot of times people ask me, they say, what does Bunjo's mean?
Yeah, like what the hell does it mean?
What does that mean? Is it someone's name? Or I actually created a contest. If you go to the website, bunjoscomedy.com, we had a contest where people just had to guess what they thought it would mean. I should have brought out.
Yeah, I didn't even see the answers. Like, what were some of the...
some of them were like, oh, the guy was playing a banjo and he mispronounced it. And, we want to make this segment short, so you can go to the website to see what the answers are. Basically, where the name came from is our dad, Michael DeKoven, who passed away, unfortunately, about 13 years ago. He had his own language. As a kid growing up, he had his own language.
Yeah, I mean, complete nonsense words that no one else would understand except for him and his friends.
Right.
Yeah, and they passed down to us, of course.
Indoctrinated into our... So, for instance, just to give you an idea, we wrote down some of the words. Let's start out with a simple one, sealer.
Sealer.
Explain what sealer means to the audience.
Well, sealer is just his description. Sealer is a noun, I guess, right? And it would be something that you eat at the end of the meal to sort of seal it off.
Right. I mean,
that's why it's called a sealer.
Right. Sealer was a dessert.
It's a dessert, but it's more than a dessert. It's a sealer because it seals it off.
It's sealed them in, and like you were to eat nothing afterwards.
Right.
The thing I think that was interesting about this word is actually a lot of my friends, I don't know about yours, started using it.
Right.
And they're probably to this day now are saying, oh, let's have a sealer.
Right.
And they may be passing it on to their kids. So
yeah, who knows?
The thing is, that word actually kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
You say sealer, I'm having a dessert, you seal it and it's good. But let's take, I think this was another very popular word which absolutely makes no sense, which would be varler.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you should actually spell it. Spell varler.
V-A-R-L-E-R.
Yeah.
Okay.
And varler can be an adjective or a noun. Or
or it could be there's a subset of varl. But let's start out with, if I were to say to you, Jim, hand me the varler.
Right. Here, let me show you. The varler is a remote control.
Right. So somehow at some point in our life, the term remote control got changed to varler. And it would just be like, oh, where's the varler? Can you hand me the varler? And I don't know how that happened. Now, but there's a word which really has nothing to do with this word, which is varl, V-A-R-L-E, which is a completely different...
It's the same, it's sort of the root of varler, but it has nothing to do with the meaning of varler.
Right,
yeah.
Like we were just, we just had dinner, and when we were leaving, I said, let's varl out of here.
Yeah, it means leave, let's go.
Let's go, let's, get the hell.
Yeah, like I can say to you, if you're hanging at my place and you're going to leave, and I say, oh, what, you're going to varl now?
Right,
Exactly. It means I'm going to leave, or you're going, right.
And again,
it doesn't make any sense at all.
How that happened. Yeah. Another great word, which this one kind of, you'll see how it happened, is doomies. And that one I would say is spelled D-O-O-M-I-E-S.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing you got to say is that a lot of these words, they were never officially spelled out.
Yeah, there wasn't like a Michael DeKoven dictionary.
Yeah.
We just assumed that.
We're just sort of guessing what, it's like some ancient culture, you're just sort of guessing how they might have spelled it or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So doomies actually basically came from the word dummy, obviously.
I never thought about it.
Well, when you think about it, because he would always say... And, it'd be like, oh, you're being a doomies.
Yeah.
That would be like you're doing something stupid.
Right.
So I kind of feel like he's saying, oh, you're being a dummy, and somehow
it became doomy.
And then, can you remember the amounts of times, of course it was directed at Mom most of the time, and then you just hear him say, "Doomies."
Yeah.
And, you know, your mom, she's such a doomies, you know.
Yeah.
Here is another word, graglish. Now, I'm assuming this was spelled Graglish.
Right.
And use graglish in a sentence for the audience.
Graglish is like, the context would be, you know, you're not feeling well, and someone says, like John would say to me, "Hey, do you want to go get some dinner?" I say, "Oh, I'm just going to stay home and feeling a little graglish."
Right, exactly.
Right?
It's like you're kind of under the weather. You're not totally sick.
Yeah.
You're just a little...
You're just a little bit not feeling well. It's graglish.
Right.
Yeah. But then isn't there graggler?
Well, so we kind of debate that. I don't really know that. But let's go with the famous ones. Or the more... there's also a word slaggish.
Oh, yeah.
Slagish. You want to use this in a sentence?
Okay, well, slaggish would be that, say, you go to a bookstore and you buy the book you find your book, you buy it at the counter, you walk away, in your mind you're thinking, that person wasn't really friendly, they were kind of slaggish.
Right, they didn't have any personality.
They weren't really friendly, they weren't like enthusiastic.
Or, now here's again a word not totally related but could be part of it, is rue, R-U-E, because he'd also say, oh, he was rue, or I think rue was more, it was directed to us personally, he'd say, you're being rue.
Yeah.
Like, stop being so rue.
But you have to explain what rue meant.
Well, it just means you're being mean, basically.
Well, yeah, you're being mean.
Or you're in a bad mood.
You're irritable or something.
You're irritable.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I just did one of those things like we did in the interview. So those are basically the main ones, but that brings us to...
We didn't do Cragler.
Cragler, yeah. I mean, so is how we came up with the name, because one of my dad's words was Bunjo.
Yeah.
So... when we were trying to think of names for the comedy club, and, you know, we didn't want to come up with the typical
laugh,
whatever, and then, so it's kind of like, let's think of a word that's not really meaning anything. And
kind of a nonsense word. Right? Yeah.
So, of course, all our dad's words are kind of nonsense, so we thought, oh, out of all these, Bunjo would be the best.
Yeah, and it makes sense because explain the meaning of Bunjo.
Well, you can explain it.
Well, I don't even know if we really understand the full definition of it, but it's
well, Bunjo is a term of endearment.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically means, oh, you're Bunjo means you're cute or you're.
But it can also be, again, it's sort of an adjective to describe someone, but it can also describe a thing, like an experience, right? Like you can say, oh, how was that, you know, time at the amusement park that you went? You went to Disney.
I had a Bunjo time.
Yeah.
Right,
so,
that's true.
Yeah, or somebody could be Bunjo, right?
Right.
Or...
and I mean, it was used for the most part as a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, we all called each other Bunjo in a way. You know, it was used mostly for mom.
Right.
You know, hi Bunjo, you know, for my mom, and who a lot of you know who may be watching this. And so that's basically how it came about. It's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
And it sounded funny, you know, kind of like Bunjo's Comedy Club. And
yeah, but also I think to get deeper, the Bunjo, when you said that person was Bunjo, it wasn't that it was a term of endearment, it's also that person, there was something that kind of cute about them. Right?
Exactly.
Because every nice person isn't necessarily Bunjo.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Just because someone's nice, it doesn't go hand in hand.
Right. Well, it
takes a certain type of person.
I think it's somebody that's cute and nice, and there's some love mixed in.
No, but even if you again had just a very short-term experience with somebody, again, like in a retail store or something like that.
True.
That's what I'm saying. You go, oh, that guy was really Bunjo. But it wasn't just about nice. There's a certain sort of quirkiness, maybe.
Right, I think that's it. Now that words of slicing and dicing, there's a little quirkiness to them. They're a little, I don't want to know if it's weird, but there's something slightly off and cute at the same time.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of
which describes our mom to a T.
Yeah,
So,
there's a weirdness, but a cuteness.
A cuteness at the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's how
Yeah.
it came up. So we figured, this would be like a tribute to our dad.
Yeah, and it sounds good,
and
too.
It sounds good. I've had a lot of people say, like, oh, that's the best, the greatest name ever for a comedy club.
Yeah,
I mean,
it just sounds fun. It just sounds fun.
Right, people hear it, they say, oh, yeah, it sounds fun. So
yeah.
I think it was a good name to go with. And you guys can't see the logo here, but through the magic of editing, I will superimpose it right here. And
BunjoComedyClub.com.
Or I just go by. I actually have them both registered for Doomies, but see, that's how.
Oh.
But see, I could use that right there for people who are Doomy-ish and do the whole thing. It'll still go there.
You have to redirect it, right?
I just do a bunjoscomedy.com, and
there you go.
That's how it all started. So we'll have to make. I don't know. Maybe on my own, I'll just do a thing where I read what some of the.
Well, eventually we'll actually formally define them and have them on the website.
Well, no, what I mean is, but with some of the guests, like on the website, because I have to pick a winner. Like I said, I'd pick a winner, like who has the best, what they thought it was. And there were a couple.
Is it the best or the closest?
No,
to
just like what would sound good.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyways, thanks for checking out another edition of the Inside Joke. I'm John DeKoven. This is my brother James, and we may as well give you a plug. I mean, it's not comedy, but copywriting, one of the best in the business.
TheComposer.com.
TheComposer.com.
Put it up on the on the screen.
I'll put it up on the screen, and if you need to give him a quick little 30-second. He's not even stoned.
Yeah, I can't even think about it right now.
Just check any type of copywriting you need, TheComposer.com. Thank you. Come here, Tiger.